Hey, what's up? It's Greg from Fisherman's Headquarters, and today is Tuesday, November 9th. Taking a stroll up here on the Mid-Island Surf here in the town of Ship Bottom in the 9 o'clock hour. Right now, you got incoming tide. There's some good groundswell in the water coming out of east-southeast direction from a storm that is on the southeastern section of the United States down there south of North Carolina off Florida that's been kind of sending some swell our way. As you can see behind me, it's definitely a longer period, a little more on the lully side. There's no waves kind of cracking behind me, but you will see in the next, say, moment or so, a couple sets come in. Buoy right now is about 5 feet. Because of that, you're gonna need some extra lead if you're hitting the surf today. There are some fish being caught. I did not hear any reports this morning. However, just recently I heard of a number of fish that were over the 38-inch size limit for New Jersey fisheries for striped bass. When they're over, they got to get back in the water. Use your best skills, judgment, and respect for the species. Get a quick picture. Get it back in the water. Don't pack it up with sand. Don't rake its gills through the sand. Don't get your hands all up in there and rip the gills and abuse the fish. Let's try to keep the molestation of the striped bass to a minimum. With that being said, get out and go do some fishing. Fishing's awesome. I was out yesterday, fished last night, had a blast with store staffer Max and also Schwag. We were bucktail and stripers in the bay in the boat. It was great fun. I was also vibing with the new Nomad Vibe, which is a rattle trap style soft bait kind of hybrid lure. Just definitely stoked to be using that. Max was also, fishing some lures, some bucktails. Fished some metal lips, got into some good fishing. There's some fish on the beach. I know there's some anglers that caught some fish last night, and there's some dogfish around as well, which is definitely somewhat of a nuisance if you're chunking bait. But that's part of the game this time of year. When the water gets colder like it is now in the mid-50s, say 55, 56 degrees, dogfish will be here. Also striped bass are here. Mr. Taylor got a nice 43-inch fish just a day or so ago, fishing the surf. I mentioned there's a couple nice fish caught in the inlet. I know yesterday there was some good fish caught in the inlet from land-based anglers. Guys live bait fishing the boats are doing good. The fishing out front's been awesome. Guys trolling bunker spoons. That fishing's gonna be great. Bay fishing is normally good all of November. So if you wanna go fishing, fish the beach, the boat, the bay, the inlet, the surf, anywhere in between, get out there and have some fun. 1 week from today, November 16th, tog fishing goes up to 5 fish at 15 inches. That is the fishing that a lot of bottom fishermen are waiting for. Tog is a great species to go for. Good fun, very challenging. Get geared up and head out and go do that. Checking back in here with the surf and swell. Like I mentioned, buoy is at 4 or 5 feet right now. You'll see a 3 to 5 foot ground swell on the beaches right now of LBI. We've got a light westerly wind. I think it's gonna be swinging a little more southerly because it's got a lot of sun and warm temperatures in the forecast today. It's gonna get up in the mid-60s. It's gonna be beautiful. Not sure if we'll see that on the beach due to the colder waters, but it's gonna be a beautiful day here. Right now it's on the chilly side. What's up, Pat?
Hey,
good. Just giving a little quick little report. It's Pat cruising by. Didn't stop to share a report, but he's cruising the beach. He's going fishing. And with that said, I'll cruise this way. There are some good opportunities right now on the surf front. With the surf as it is, there's some great whitewater. There's some great pockets. It's definitely a good time to take a look and read the beaches and find those spots that you want to fish at night. When I say read the beaches, take a look behind me. You see some whitewater. You see some pockets of, say, calmer, deeper, bluer water. Those deeper sections would be the cuts, the troughs, the holes, the bowls. That is most of the time where these fish will be cruising through, using it just like an avenue, like a highway, to kind of mosey along and find their way. Maybe they're hunting, maybe they're not. Sometimes fish are on the feed, sometimes they're not. Fish need to swim to live. They're not usually going to swim through the sandbars unless they are feeding. Those sandbars would be where the waves are breaking, where the whitewater is. Most of the time they swim through the whitewater. That oxygen-rich water gets them fired up, gets them excited. It's almost like, one of us having a coffee or a Red Bull in the morning, afternoon, or evening. You want to fish lures up in that whitewater and bring it through the troughs. Fish those seams, those transitions from sandbar to, say, deeper water is normally the area where the fish are going to be looking for bait. That's where the bait gets spilled off. When I mention bait, The past 3 days, I've saw an abundance of sand eels. I'm not saying there's abundance of sand eels on the beach. I saw them in the inlet. They're pouring in on the incoming tide. Birds all over eating sand eels. You can believe me if you want. If you don't, that's fine. I've already had a phone call saying, nah, there's no sand eels around. Hogwash. I saw them with my own eyes. I had 3 anglers on my boat. They saw them too. If you haven't seen sand eels, that's a bummer, but I'll promise you there are sand eels around. With that said, when you want to fish lures, you got to match the hatch. What is here right now? Sand eels. Is it the most abundant bait? No. I think the most abundant bait right now is bunker. If you're fishing the beach, fishing bait, chunk bunker. Hands down. No questions asked. Bunker's the way to go. You want to fish clams? Cool. Clams are great baits. Clams will catch fish. They work great in the spring. They work good all summer long. They work great all fall. And guess what? They work good in the winter as well. They're probably the best all-around bait for all season. However, right now there's quality striped bass in the waters. They are calling the Central Jersey coast home right now. They were for the last week or so, and they will for the next week or so. If you want to get a big fish, yes, they'll eat clams, but they love bunker. Bigger baits normally mean bigger fish, but elephants eat peanuts. So it's up to you. Do what you want to do. If you don't have a heavy rod, which you will need to fish the heavier surf that's here right now, you could fish smaller baits. Smaller bait means smaller hook. That allows you then to fish a larger weight. Let's say your rod only is rated 3 to 8 ounces. You will need every bit of 8 ounces today. So what you can do if you need to fish 8 ounces but don't have the ability to fish more because your rod's 3 to 8 and you need 8 ounces of lead to hold, you can't fish 3-4 ounce chunk of bunker on there or else you're going to blow the rod up on the cast. What you could do is fish a Sputnik sinker. Long-tail Sputnik sinkers are barbed sinkers. They work very well. Another style sinker would be a storm sinker or a tongue sinker. They are a good surf option when choosing lead. Then you can fish a smaller piece of bait. Use maybe a 6-0 rather than a 9-0 hook. If you're fishing bigger baits, bigger chunks of bunker, most of the time you're gonna be fishing 7, 8, 9-0. Some guys go up to 12s. They get normally very, very large in diameter. The gauge then requires more, say, penetrating power, which is very difficult to get without a circle hook, especially when the fish is not eating and running, which is sometimes the case in the surf, which is why people have challenging issues with circle hooks. A thinner wire hook will penetrate and set easier. Circle hooks set themselves, not the angler. Therefore, the thinner wire hook I feel is more effective for striped bass fishing. Fishing lighter wire hooks also have to fish lighter leader, lighter line. You're not going to go into this fishing super heavy braided line, super heavy mono leaders, and little wire hooks and have good outcomes. So those are a couple tips and tricks, a couple little pointers. If you want to know more about fishing the surf, you want to know more about fishing circle hooks, more about tackle ins and outs, tips and tricks, more of the, I'll say, fundamentals of fishing, stop by Fisherman's Headquarters, say hello. I'm there as much as possible, just about every day. Maybe not in the early morning because I'm out fishing, but you'll definitely find me in the afternoons. I'm more than happy to answer questions. There's a bunch of guys that all fish at the shop. Stop by and talk to the team. Guys at Fisherman's Headquarters are there every single day, 7 days a week. Most days we're open at 5 or 6 a.m. and we're open until 8 or 9 o'clock most days. So we've got probably the longest hours at anybody on LBI. We do our best to keep the freshest bait in stock. Right now we're running low on some fresh bunker that came in yesterday. However, expecting more today. Big swell. Therefore, it's not the easiest for our bait guys to get out. Most time bigger swell means the bunker pods get scattered. Makes it more challenging for our local gill net out of Barney Light to go get the bait. We've had a local cast netter casting some bait for us. Hence the reason why we had some primo baits yesterday and this morning. By the time this video is posted, we will probably be out of fresh bunker, but we do have some beautiful vacuum pack bunker in stock. You can also get up and fish some lures, beautiful whitewater, fish some bucktails. Today, the first lure I would probably fish would be an 1.5 ounce, 2 ounce bucktail with a big jig strip on it. I'd be fishing it right up in that whitewater behind me there, bring it into that little slough with the sweep. Want a little bit of sweep with a bucktail. Another lure I would fish would be a super strike little neck popper, phenomenal popper. Casts very well, can fish it up top. It's also a sinking popper, so you can swim it slow. Has a nice little wiggle. That sass normally attracts lazy striped bass that are not on the feed, that pop every once in a while. Looks like a natural bait fish coming up to the surface to smack and break. Super strike poppers are by far my best catching popper off of the surf. Don't overlook fishing them at night. They are phenomenal. Another lure you can fish up here would be an SP minnow, would be a diamond jig. You can also fish some soft baits, like a rubber shad. Say a 4-inch to 6-inch rubber shad is a very, very universal lure up the surf. I don't think enough people fish them. More people fish diamond jigs. I'd say it's a staple in just about everybody's bag. Probably also want to fish like a darter or metal lip. When I say a darter, there's a lot of darters out there, but I would say like a Yozori mag darter in the medium size, say 5 or so inch or bigger. They're pretty good when the mullet's around, maybe not so good when the bigger bunker around. The bigger wood darters, big wood metal lips, much better. But it's definitely a good day to throw a metal lip on that whitewater there and fish the backside of some of these waves. I think you'd definitely raise a nice fish. I raised a few last night, fishing a big black metal lip at night. There was very little moon, very dark night, beautiful starry night, no wind. Metal lip was swimming like a gem, V-waking on the surface, fish are coming up and smacking at it. I'd say I got more bites than I did fish. I got a number of bumps and hits and slaps, but that's kind of what metal lip fishing's all about. You get a bunch of bumps, you don't always hook them. A lot of times the fish shake the hooks too. They kind of get on the outside of their face when they come up and nudge it or tail slap it. So hopefully some tips and tricks help you guys. Hopefully you guys are getting out and do some fishing. Fishing's great. November's kind of the best month here in LBI to catch some striped bass. Get out there and have some fun. Have a great day.